Hear me. I want to begin the program tonight by thanking everybody for coming out for this great occasion here. As I look around, I see a lot of people that care deeply for the city of Kankakee. People have put their entire lives into the city for years and years and years. So thank you all for coming out. For those of you who do not know me, I know a lot of you do, but my name is Larry Osinga, and I'm the 3rd Ward Alderman. And I've been an alderman for 14 years on the west side of Kankakee, the 3rd Ward. And prior to that, I was a police officer in Kankakee for 30 years. So I'm kind of like an old piece of furniture that you never can get rid of. I just keep coming back. And in my tenure, I've served under 5 different mayors. 5 mayors while I've been around here. Under Mayor Curtis, we've made some great strides in the last 3 years, and we want to keep moving forward, doing what we're doing. I've seen things turn around very quickly. We've got some wonderful aldermen and other city leaders here, city managers, that Chris chose under his management team, and they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. We want to keep doing that. There's some community leaders here tonight that are going to speak for a few minutes and say a few words. They're all my very good friends. They've been around for many, many years. So our first speaker tonight is going to be former Alderman Steve Hunter. He was an alderman in the city of Kankakee for 40 years. He currently serves on the county board. In the past, he's been mayor pro tem when the past mayors have been gone. Steve cares deeply for the city. So without further ado, Steve, if you would like to come up and say a few words. Watch your step.
Bring that chair over there. You want to bring that chair over there for me? Thank you. Okay, thanks a lot, Larry. I have a few words. Alderman Tall told me only have 2 minutes, but you know, Janita, you looking and laughing and stuff, but I'm gonna try to make some points. And Matt, you know, facts and data don't lie, right? Colton?
Closer.
I just want to thank everybody, you know, for being here, looking at this very diverse group of individuals who are here from all areas of Kankakee land. We really appreciate you being here, and we're here to support our mayor, your mayor, everybody's mayor, Chris Curtis. I think it's the right thing to do by virtue of us being here today. There's a multiplicity of things that we can say about him, and I've done a few notes here in terms of thinking about what kinds of things he's been able to do. When you think in terms of politics, you usually see the R's over there and the D's over there, but look at us today. Look at us, black, brown, Democrats, and Republicans. And Nugent's even brought his kids here. I guess maybe in a few years they'll be able to vote. I just wanted to mention some things that you know, it's really kind of fitting and proper that the mayor is wanting to do his announcement here in the entryway to the city of Kankakee. I think it's very important because there's been a lot of different progress and things done on the east side. And he's got other plans that he will push forward towards other areas of the city. There aren't any neighborhoods in which he hasn't visited. I don't know how many times we've been over here at this particular location talking about different things, and I'm sure he's going to bring up some things about what he wants to do. You take a look at GT Express in terms of jobs. Dave Benoit's here with that trucking firm. You take a look at what he's done with Ricky Rockets, the dispensary, Wendy's and so forth. You know, there's a reason for us, Alderman Jones, to be here on the east side, because now when people go up and down I-57, this is a point of interest to come here for goods and services. No longer is there a vacant parking lot over at the old Kmart location. Look at the different traffic that transpires when people are going up and down I-57 and 17. No longer are there shootings every day, although, you know, we have the black on black crime and kids shooting kids, but that's something we're going to have to deal with. The mayor's got a plan. He's got a wonderful team, a public safety team in terms of Kidwell and Austin. We as leaders get notified every time there's an incident, because a lot of times when you take a look at some of the social media, misinformation is put out there, Mayor Johnson. But we get the facts and we share that information so we can dispel the misinformation that's out there. Heretofore, that wasn't really done. So we appreciate that with that public safety team. When you think in terms of things that are transpiring here, take a look at Hoppy Avenue. I know there's short-term inconvenience, but long-term solution to a problem. That's been a problem ever since I was an alderman. But now, you know, under his tutelage with the MPO, that's going to be done. $12 million, you know, for that particular project. And I think he deserves a round of applause for that. When you think in terms of, I think Alderman Carl Brown will say hallelujah for the $1.3 million that was spent over in Marycrest behind us for the problems they had with traffic as well as flooding. There's just a multiplicity of things that have transpired in terms of what we've been able to do regarding the entryway to the Crestview Village, the entryway to Eastgate. You see how additional companies are coming in because they have faith, they have trust with Mayor Curtis. I trust him, I talk to him, he listens to us. We argue with him, we give him advice, and we reach compromise. When you think in terms of all the different people here, look at you, think about it. Heretofore, that never happened. So I would dispel any possibilities of anybody else running against him, but you know, you never want to come in second. But who's ever out there who wants to run for mayor, I think that you'll come in second. I want to say also, when you think in terms of the next couple of years, at 312 here, Mayor Curtis has worked with Senator Joyce and Representative Haas in making that happen. And now Representative Haas is here, and she'll tell you, and I think Natalie Ojeda's here as well too, and they'll tell you that we way down the list in terms of when 312 is going to be done. I understand that 312 is going to be done. That's $100 million in 2026. And also you think in terms of 308, there's work to be done as well too. So Mayor Curtis has worked in a bipartisan way to bring goods and services to this area. When you think in terms of diversity, you think about the number of black and brown and women police officers that have been hired under him. He made it possible to appoint a good city engineer who is open to diversity and bringing in interns for our future engineers who will be able to provide services to the people in this particular area. I could probably go on and on and on, but I won't, and no applause needed. But I just want to encourage all of you, and also as I see Joe Nugent out there who's carrying the water for the mayor. This is a business partner of the mayor, and he takes on a lot of responsibility while the mayor is being mayor, and we appreciate that. Him and Carrie and their kids, we thank you very much. When you think in terms of, you know, the sheriff being here, who supports him, you got the coroner here, you got all these different folks here, and I'm sure I'm missing some names. The new county board chairman back there elect, also the Colton back there who's going to be our auditor. Other Democratic officials, Reggie Jones, Alderman Carl Brown, Alderman Emeritus, and I'm sure we got Sandy Cianci there as well too. Our buddy Howard, Howard, you're looking around, you're the only Howard here. Howard makes all the different events. We had, I think I saw Jessica Andrade here as well too. Anyway, a bunch of you guys, we really appreciate you being here. God bless, and don't forget, black, brown, white, Democrats, Republicans, Independents for Chris Curtis. Thank you very much. I got 2 Republicans helping me out.
Well, Chris, I guess go on home now. Show for you. All right, our next speaker is a very good friend of mine. He's been involved in law enforcement for 39 years. He's lived in Kankakee County his entire life. He's been the sheriff of Kankakee County for 8 years. Sheriff Mike Downey, would you come up, please, and say a few words?
All right, well, thank you, Alderman. I did start in law enforcement when I was 12, in case you guys are doing math out there. You know, as all of us know, and we've heard, law enforcement is facing many challenges as we continue to move forward. We have legislation that, you know, has been talked about till we're blue in the face, and challenging times call for challenging leadership. Mayor Curtis has stepped up from day one, and that was 3.5 years ago. He made that his priority. We have mayor's meetings every Monday where local police chiefs, myself, his staff, and Mayor Curtis is there every Monday morning at 11 o'clock. And what we do at those meetings is we talk about things going on in our community as a whole, the county, the city, all the other jurisdictions, because a lot of things are related. Mayor Curtis listens intently. He follows along on the reports. He doesn't overstep. He doesn't act like he's a police officer. But the one important thing he does is he provides resources for the police to be able to do their work, something that has been lacking prior to his administration. He has been involved with additional cameras within the city. You'd be amazed at the amount of information that is out there when, as County Board Member Hunter mentioned the crime, and those cameras have been so important in solving a lot of those crimes. All across the city. Mayor Curtis made public safety his priority from day one, and the city of Kankakee is reaping those benefits. A mayor who supports his police department changes the morale of that police department. The morale of the city police department is so high because they have the support of the mayor, and he provides those resources for them to do their job safely and protect our community. His appointments of former Chief Robin Passwater, who has since retired, current Chief Chris Kidwell, who is the chief now, he has appointed good people in good positions to make our community safer. And that is a credit to him. Mayor, that is a credit to you. Mayor Curtis deserves and has earned a second term for mayor. And I am proud to stand before you and endorse him. Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, our next speaker is our state's attorney, Mr. Jim Rowe. Jim was elected state's attorney in 2016. He has many leadership roles. He's in Kankakee Iroquois Human Traffic Task Force. He's involved with Harbor House, domestic violence, blah, blah.
It's felony.
Right,
That's
I'm
felony
done with
assault.
that. I am going to tell you a quick story. I am a retired police officer, but even being retired, you have certain cases that you never let go because they haven't been solved. After Mr. Rowe became the state's attorney, I was retired. I reached out to him and I said, I got a case I want to talk about. We sat down and we talked about that. First off, you wonder if when you ask them, they're going to say, yeah, right, we'll do it, and they don't do it. This gentleman did it, and he did a fine job. And because of that, a very, very serious crime that took place in Kankakee County 15 years ago, there's a very good chance somebody's going to be brought to justice and is going to go to trial. I'm not going to go into details because he'll kill me. But I'm just going to turn it over to Jim. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, everybody. This is really remarkable. This isn't something you would see on the national scale or the statewide scale, and sometimes not even on a local scale, but just look around. You know, this is a testament to the leadership of Mayor Curtis during his first term. We've got bipartisan here, cross-cultural, people that represent all areas, not only the different communities within the city of Kankakee, but the neighborhoods throughout the county of Kankakee. So let's say thank you, Mayor Curtis, for building that coalition. I haven't been state's attorney that long, but I have had the honor of serving as state's attorney across 3 city administrations. Mayor Epstein, Mayor Wells Armstrong, and Mayor Curtis. And each mayor, of course, puts their own personal touch on the office. But Chris Curtis has really impressed me because for my work as state's attorney, the number one issue is public safety. How do we keep people in our community safe? And Mayor Curtis gets it. He understands that sometimes you have to go beyond the traditional duties of your office. It's one thing to be the sheriff and run the sheriff's department, to be state's attorney and just prosecute people, to be mayor and preside over city council meetings. But that's not what gets the meaningful, impactful work done for the people of Kankakee. Did you know that Mayor Curtis was a mentor in our juvenile mentoring program? He worked with one of the most challenging of youth in that program, and he stuck with it. Did you know that Mayor Curtis is the reason that every day during the summer, kids have a place to go? Our summer program for court-involved youth used to run from noon until 4 p.m. Mayor Curtis stepped forward because he sees the importance of keeping kids off the streets during those after-school hours, that 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. time slot. And he couldn't do it on his own, right? He's the mayor, he works with his city council, but he got every member of the city council to come forward and to support that program so we could expand the hours, so the kids now have access to responsible adults, tutoring and mentoring 40 hours a week all summer in the city of Kankakee. That's how you make an impact on public safety. The sheriff talked about the Verkada cameras. What a great crime-fighting tool, Mayor, that you've brought and expanded throughout the city of Kankakee. But what about just the mere fact that while many municipal police departments are struggling to recruit police officers, the city of Kankakee has got them coming in left and right. Every time I go to your department, I see new police officers in there. That is a testament to the public safety system that Mayor Curtis is building here in the city of Kankakee. It is an honor to support him today. I think that the last 3 years have been absolutely phenomenal. Definitely hit the ground running. I can't wait to see what's in store for the next 4. Congratulations, Mayor. I look forward to supporting your campaign.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you, Alderman Hunter, wherever you're at. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce, if you don't know him, this is Mayor Chris Curtis, the mayor of the city of Kankakee. His beautiful wife, Lori.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for taking your time and coming out today. I've got my family up here, my wife, Lori, my oldest son, Connor. They're going to help. I think Connor's going to play. We got Band of White, and then we got Pat Sajak over here. So my other son, Zach, is doing an internship over in Iowa this year, so I'm really proud of him, and I wish he could be here today, but I know he's thinking about us. So I just want to thank Alderman, Commissioner Steve Hunter, Sheriff Downey, State's Attorney Rowe. Your words are too kind, because it's not just me, it's all of you, and it's a lot of you who are standing here today helping me get to where we need to get to. This is a team effort all the way around, from the council members to the department heads to the law enforcement to all the communities with Bourbonnais and Manteno and Bradley and County. When we're all working as one, we're working well together. And we talked about that 3 years ago, and I think it's coming to fruition, and we're going to keep it going. You know, today, it's been a little over 3 years I've been mayor. Doesn't feel like a day over 5. So But with the support of my wife and my kids, I'm excited to announce that today I'm seeking a second term as mayor of the city of Kankakee in 2025. And I talk to you about a few points and some things that we've accomplished, because I think that's what I'm going to run on. I'm going to run on my track record. I'm going to run on what this council and these department heads have done with my team for the last 3 years in the city of Kankakee, and what we're going to be doing for the next 8 to 10 months before the next election. I'm not sure there's much to talk about. I think Alderman Hunter might have covered it all, so we'll go from there. But I am going to start when I sat here and announced a little over 4 years ago. I came out with 4 points. It was public safety, it was finance, it was economic development, and it was stabilizing neighborhood housing. And I'd sit there and say, I always talk about, you got to talk about the negatives along with the positives. And that's how I start a lot of my speeches. I think we've delivered on 3 of them. I'll be the first to admit that we got a long way to go with the vacant houses and the neighborhood stabilization, but we got a plan built into this budget for a new department. We've got a plan where we're going to the city-owned properties, we're going to get them into developers' hands. And I sit there and say, you're going to see a lot of things happening over the next 8 months with some new software and everything we need to get there. Haven't got there yet, but we will. I promise you that. So I can sit here, hopefully, when I'm elected next May and say we hit all 4 things in the first 4 years and start some new initiatives and goals for the next 4 years. But I do want to touch on public safety. It is the number 1 thing, because you can't have economic development, you can't have neighborhood stabilization, you can't have good finances, people aren't going to spend their money and bring their businesses here if you don't have solid public safety. And I right now I just want to say to Chief Kidwell, I see Commander Malandine back there, Sheriff Downey, former Chief Passwater, Mr. Gessner, State's Attorney Rowe, DC Austin over here. I see a lot of people here right now. They're the ones that do the work. They come with ideas, they ask, and the great thing about this council is we never say no to them. I don't think we've ever turned them down, and they're the men and women that are out making a difference. And so let's give them a big round of applause, because they are the ones that are moving Kankakee in the right direction. Sheriff Downey's going to cringe here a bit, but sometimes you just got to talk about it. And but we do have to talk about the trends, okay? For 2 consecutive years, public safety trends, whether it's been the number of shots fired, the victim shot, the other key statistics, major crimes, have trended downward. And we just left our public safety building tonight and reviewed the 6-month statistics, and they're continuing to trend downward. Overall, major crimes are down 17.2%. Shots fired, that's a big one. They were down 33% the first year. They were down 9% last year, and they're on pace to be down another 13% this year. That's nearly a 50% reduction in 3 years. That's a big deal. And we got a long way to go, because we're nowhere near the numbers that we need to be. We've got a long way to go. Victims shot is down 13.8% last year and 34% since 2021. Illegal firearms recovered last year by the KMAG, the city police and state and everything. Over 200 illegal firearms have been collected off the streets. We got to get these guns out of the people that are using them for the wrong reasons, and they're continuing to do that. So I got some boards here. It's not working as well, but if you saw the major crimes, when I came in 2018, we had a little over 1,000. We're down to 879 and trending. This is our shots fired. And right now, as I said, if you look at 2024, I hope it keeps it up. We're trending to hopefully be below 400. My goal, I want to get below 250. I'd love to say 0, but I'm reality. We're never going to get to 0 again. But can we get it under 250? That's the goal in the next couple years. Again, I want to end it with public safety. It's the cooperation of the Sheriff's Department, the state police, our neighboring communities, the state's attorney's office. All of them are the ones that do the hard work. They just give me the pleasure of assisting them when I need it, whatever tools or anything they need, but they're the ones that solve the crimes and things. And that's the one thing I want to end on in public safety. When we do have a shooting or an unfortunate homicide, we've had 2 this year, that's 2 too many. But both cases, within 48 hours or less, had the suspect identified, put out, and we're actually still looking for both of them right now, but they are identified, and it's through the technology of the cameras. It's through the cooperation of people like you in the community. The community is finally stepping up and saying they've had enough. They want to make a change, and they're taking a chance and stepping out and saying, we're going to help solve these crimes. Thank you to the community, and give yourself a big round of applause. Finances was another big one when I came in the office. It's part of the being, I call it my real estate and economic development background. It's not sexy, I use that word a lot, but it's extremely important. And I always talk about it's like a credit score. Okay, if you have a low credit score, you're gonna pay higher interest rates. So it's been a big deal to get our finances in what I believe is in the best position it's been in many, many, many years. Thanks to Comptroller Kubal and her staff, when I came into office, in 30 months we've completed 4 audits. That's a big deal. That's almost impossible to do. And we're working on the audit right now, and we're going to be delivering that in a timely manner this fall, and that is catching the attention of our bond rating agencies, and that's a big deal. We've also had 3 consecutive years of surplus over expenses, and not just a small amount. We've had substantial surplus over expenses. Our budgeted income is coming in close to 100%, 98 to 100%, but it's our department heads who are working hard to keep expenses down. Those are ranging anywhere from 92 to 94% of our budget. That's how we're getting a surplus done. It's our department heads that are doing the job, and I want to give a big thanks to them. We've made an initiative that when I came in office, we had a reserve account of a little over $3 million. And we made a promise to S&P, our bond rating, Standard & Poor's bond rating, that we had a goal to get that to over $10 million by 2030. I'm proud to tell you tonight that as of today, we've got over 6.2 million in that account, and we expect we'll take that well over 7 million here before the end of this month. We're well on our way of meeting that statistic of $10 million by 2030. I think we'll get there, be way before that. And that's a big thing right now. We've got a bond rating call coming up here shortly. We were at triple B, not the greatest bond rating. We actually went from triple B stable to the negative watch list my first year in office. That was a crushing blow, I'll be honest. I did not expect that. But there was a lot of things like the uncertainty of home rule, other things that were happening, only being in office for 8 months. Through the council's efforts, they retained home rule, and we've had 3 consecutive years of outstanding financials. And so my goal is hopefully we can at least get to triple B positive, and the ultimate goal is hopefully within a year we can get to an A- rating. It's a big deal. I know the public doesn't understand it, but it matters everything. And then we got some boards here real quick. I want to share these, the next one up here. The city tax rate. It's the lowest this year since 2009. In 2018, I helped spearhead an effort of the 2% sales tax, and a lot of people made fun of that. They didn't think it would work. It's paying off our pensions, and it's a big deal. And with that, being able to take a lot of that pension burden off the tax levy and off the real estate tax bill, you can see we've got the lowest tax rate we've had through this chart here since 2008, and we're going to try to continue keeping that going forward. That's a huge deal. That's how we're trying to deliver back to the residents, giving them a break. The next board is also talks about the tax levy. You know, when the EAV goes up, you know, often people will see their tax bill go up because their property's worth more. That's a good thing. You might have saw in Cranes that Kankakee was the #2 most increased residential home value in the United States last year at over 22%. That's a big deal. But what's really important is if you look at here is this tax levy. We've kept it the 2 years pretty significantly low there. That 1 year where it's green real low, that's when we instituted the 2% tax rate. That's an anomaly that happened there. But we're trying to keep that tax levy close to as zero as possible. I don't think you can ever get it to zero. It's almost impossible, but we're trying to do that. And so we're excited. And the biggest thing I think we've accomplished, the one thing the residents hate the most, we eliminated the vehicle sticker tax 2 years ago thanks to the city council. I want to talk about economic development real quick. That's my bread and butter. That's one of the things that I think that me and with the advice and my partner and everything that I think we're pretty good at. And we've got a great team that's involved there. We've had over 100 new businesses just in the last 18 months that have located in Kankakee. In downtown, Garden Management Solutions is going to open up here this month. That's saved over $100,000 annually for the library by giving up that space that they weren't using anymore. And we've got a top 10 management firm in the country occupying downtown Kankakee, taking on 40 permanent jobs and 100 part-time jobs working there. That's a big deal for Kankakee. We've got a couple boards. I'm going to have them put up here. Before I get to it, the Riverwalk. We're connecting the river to the city downtown Kankakee, and that's a big discussion. People thought I might kill that Riverwalk when I came into it. I'm all for developing the river. I just had a different plan of how I thought we should get there. I didn't think we should borrow the money, bond it out over 20 years, and figure out how to pay it. And through a lot of people, and a lot of people standing here today, we have gotten well over $1.7 million in grants from the federal, state, and local level. We've had over $400,000 of philanthropy from people like you and other things. We're going to get this done. When it's all said and done, this riverfront will be beautiful. It'll be the first phase of getting everything done with the master plan, but it's going to be paid off. When it's all said and done, you won't be paying for this for the next 20 years. That's what's exciting about the riverfront. Up here, you can see there's some renderings here. A lot of people don't even know this yet. We just authorized the engineering for West Avenue to redo it from Court Street all the way down to River Street. There's a lot happening. I call it just jumping the tracks on the Araceli Railroad tracks with a lot of the Stafari and a lot of the other facilities are going over there. They have parking needs and all that. There's some renderings right now here with Pagash Engineering. We've authorized that to get done, that we hope within a couple years we'll be able to start construction on that and redo West Riverwalk and keep expanding the downtown area further into the neighborhoods and making ourselves a walkable, workable, livable community in downtown. We also this past week submitted to the MPO to have Station Street and Curtis Avenue for future projects, just like Hobby Avenue is getting done. And that's a big deal for the west side, to get those main thoroughfares up and going for the future. South of town at exit 308, we've got Quick Trip coming. We've got the Dunkin' Donuts that had opened up out there. We've got a 52-unit senior housing complex that's ready to break ground next to Aldi. We've got the convention center that we're going to get back with the Quick Trip deal. The city's going to renovate that, get that into a private developer's hands, and we're going to bring that convention center back so we can have more facilities happening south of town. And with that, we have found interest from a hotel, hearing that wants to also locate out at exit 308. So there's a lot of development going on out there. And one of the most exciting things that's going on, we've been doing industrial, we've been doing office, we've been doing retail. It's the residential that we have to bring back. We haven't had that in the city of Kankakee in a long time. We've had a developer who stepped up, purchased all the lots at Prairie Walk, south down out by Splash Pad there, and he is ready to start this year with bringing new single-family housing and duplex housing to the city of Kankakee, and he's got an aggressive plan of possibly doing up to 15 homes a year. That's a big deal. That's a game changer for the city of Kankakee. And then if you go up into 5th Avenue into the north part of Kankakee, there was an old industrial building there between Entrance Avenue and 5th Avenue that was dilapidated, had been sitting there, the roof was caved in, was an eyesore. The city owned it. We got that into the hands of PSI Construction. They took it on. They invested well over $2 million into it. We got some space, much needed space for our Department of Public Works there. That property is no longer an eyesore. That property is now generating over $50,000 of real estate taxes annually, and they brought Dick Sand and their business into it and brought a new business to Kankakee and helped us out with needs for our storage. That's a big deal. We've got a 36 unit home complex. We've got 24 duplexes and 12 single-family homes that's being done with the Kankakee County Housing Authority. That's happening off of 5th Avenue. That's going to be a beautiful project when it's done. And there's several buildings along Fifth Avenue that we're demoing. Those old, I call it the old vacant buildings that had been burned out and everything, those will be coming down this summer as we try to improve that Fifth Avenue corridor. But I really want to get to is why are we here today? Why are we standing on this site? And Alderman Hunter talked about it earlier. We're here on the east side because your city can only grow if you take some of the toughest areas that need economic development and bring them up. You can be in the nicest part of Kankakee. It's not going to grow if you don't take care of some of the tougher problems that you need to look at. And that's East Court Street here. We had the old vacant Kmart land for a long time. We had the bowling alley here. This still doesn't look great, but I'm going to tell you a plan for it here shortly. And the things are happening. Over $125 million of infrastructure investment is happening on East Kankakee. $12 million on Harvey Avenue, $8 million on East Ridge Road, $1.5 million on Francine Drive that prevented the flooding, $96 million on this project right here. When I got a call from IDOT, they told me they were going to do exit 308 first before 312. I kind of kicked and screamed like a little kid and said, it's time for 312. Every interchange in Kankakee County has been redone. 308 needs to be redone, but not now. We need exit 312 done. And they asked me to write a letter. And about a little over a year ago, they said, we're allocating $96 million to get exit 312 done in the next 2 to 3 years. And that's a big deal for Ricky Rockets, as they've invested their $20 million plus to get that infrastructure up there and their facility up. That's going to bring much needed sales tax and real estate taxes to the city of Kankakee. But most importantly, we've got a lit up area that doesn't look vacant when you're driving by it, if you're coming from Champaign or you're driving north or south there. We got Wendy's there. Asbury, right on the other side of this building here, is spending $11.5 million with 56 new units for memory care. That's a big deal over here on the east side. Heartland Harvest at Eastgate Industrial Park, expanding $4 million in their production lines and bringing 90 new jobs to Kankakee, and they've hired those already. That's a lot that is happening on the east side of Kankakee, and that's our entrance to our city. That's what gets everybody down to courthouse, to the downtown, everything is happening. This Christmas is going to look a lot different here on East Court Street. We've purchased the lighting that you see on downtown Kankakee. It's going to be right out here on the lights, so when you get off Interstate 57, this is going to be decorated just as well as downtown Kankakee. Part of that hotel that we said is looking at exit 308. We have another hotel that wants to be right here located, and they want to do an extended facility here, and so we're working hard with them. But I want to talk about this spot right here. I'm going to hold this spot forever. I shouldn't say forever, as long as I'm mayor. There's one thing I want to have happen here. And I said this 3 years ago when I ran for mayor. The east side of Kankakee needs a real grocery store. It's a food desert. There's no fresh food. There's no fresh meat. We got some great Hispanic groceries and everything, but we need a conventional grocery store on the east side of Kankakee to help over here, because it's a long way to walk, and if you don't have transportation, you can't get to Walmart Southtown. You can't get to Jewel and in the central there. So this site I'm holding, and there's a rendering here, and we're going to work on getting a conventional grocery store here that'll deliver fresh food, fresh vegetables, and the needed food that this side of town needs. And I promise to hold this site until we get it. It's not going to be easy. We'll probably have to give away the world for it, but I'm willing to do that, because I think that's a legacy builder for the east side of Kankakee. It's not about the sales tax, it's not about the real estate tax of the grocery store, it's providing a resource to those that need it the most. So tonight, I just want to thank you for being here. There's a lot going on, there's a lot more we have left to do. Thank you to my wife, thank you to my son for being here tonight, and I'm asking for your vote in 2025 for a second term as mayor of the city of Kankakee. So with two things, and then we're going to get you out here. I impeded on a fundraiser for the riverfront tonight. So I owe Big Oyanka a big apology. There's an event going on at the Rocks on Station Street that is a fundraiser for the East River Walk. And so if you're looking to have a cocktail or go something after, I might buy you one down if you want to join me, because I'm heading down there to support that fundraiser tonight. But the last thing I want to put up here is with Dana Heights at the Park District. She came to me a couple years ago we said we want to bring the regatta back. It's coming back this Labor Day weekend. The regatta will be back, and there's two people that were here, Lisa Dugan and George Ryan Jr., they're right over here. When we needed help, they stepped up and started raising sponsorships, and they're continuing to help us right now. Please give them a big round of applause, along with David Guzman and Bill Yanko, who are doing a tremendous amount to make sure that this is a big success Labor Day weekend. This will be a big tourism event. This is going to get people back. We've got a lot of exciting things happening in the city of Kankakee. I just ask that you give me 4 more years to accomplish a lot more things that we can do for you. Thank you. I appreciate everyone being here tonight.